The weaponization of code is the most significant development in conflict since the weaponization of fissile material. The difference, though, is that creating a nuclear bomb requires access to transuranium elements and the scarcest of scarce scientific talents. But creating a really powerful cyber weapon is a lot easier. And unlike the nuclear age, today our businesses are our targets. And all indications is that there's a significant cyber attack taking place about every 30 seconds. I don't know many topics where executive teams struggle more than with this question of cybersecurity. Every board of directors needs to have a cyber strategy. And this is especially difficult because a lot of the members of our boards of directors are not necessarily technology experts. But in the same way in which a board would get a baseline understanding of a go-to-market strategy or of a growth strategy or a market acquisition strategy, so too does the kind of board education and then executive education need to take place so that the topic of cyber is widely understood within an institution so that it can protect itself. The problem here, though, is that when you're looking for expertise, more often than not, you end up with somebody trying to sell you software and with answers to all of your questions, but then all of a sudden you are locked into years and years of a software contract, and suddenly you are a year or two into that contract and you learn that they aren't even solving for some of the biggest problems that your company is facing. In this world, you have to sort of raise the corporate IQ on the topic of cybersecurity broadly. Because unfortunately, it's not just competition as we've traditionally known it that presents existential threats to our enterprises. If you think about what your most precious assets are, it's your human capital and your intellectual property. And a lot of what we see streaming out of Europe right now is intellectual property. A lot of it's going from Western Europe and Central Europe to Eastern Europe, and a lot of it's going from Europe to Asia, where the millions of euros and years of time that you may have spent developing your intellectual property, just like that, in a few seconds, it's gone. And you usually don't know it until you look up and suddenly you've got some competition with a code base based entirely on the hard work that you have done. So in this world, even if it's a new topic, even if it is complicated and technical and something you're not entirely comfortable with, every senior member of an executive team and every member of a board of directors needs the kind of introduction to understand, without becoming a chief technology officer, what are those things that you need to understand from the standpoint of responsibility as an executive and responsibility in your role of governance.